The narrative of white flight, the mass exodus of white residents from American cities in the mid-20th century, is routinely portrayed as a racist reaction driven by bigotry against black neighbors moving into urban areas. Racist and bigot reactions and actions against them is normal, understandable, and justifiable, but there's more to this story. This story frames whites as fleeing integration out of prejudice, with government policies allegedly enabling or encouraging the abandonment of cities to punish or isolate black communities. However, extensive historical evidence demonstrates that white flight was overwhelmingly a rational, self-protective response to skyrocketing violent crime, economic decline, property destruction, and neighborhood deterioration directly tied to demographic shifts, not irrational hatred. Crime statistics from major cities during the 1950s, 1970s reveal explosive increases in murder, robbery, assault, and rape rates precisely as black populations grew in formerly stable neighborhoods. In Detroit, for example, homicide rates tripled between 1960 and 1970, coinciding with rapid racial turnover. Similar patterns appeared in Chicago, Newark, Cleveland, and dozens of other urban centers. Violent crime surged 200 to 500% in many areas within a decade of significant influx. Residents, predominantly working-class and middle-class families, fled in part because of skin color, but more because streets became unsafe for children. Because of those people with that skin color, businesses shuttered due to theft and vandalism, property values collapsed from unchecked decay, and quality of life evaporated. Police reports, victim accounts, and contemporary news coverage consistently link these changes to rising gang activity, drug proliferation, and breakdown in social order following large-scale migration and policy failures. Government programs exacerbated the problem, rather than causing white departure through racism. Federal urban renewal initiatives demolished functional neighborhoods under the guise of progress, displacing both black and white residents while failing to replace adequate housing. Welfare policies and lax law enforcement in the 1960s, 1970s incentivized dependency and reduced accountability, contributing to family disintegration and crime spikes. Riots in Watts, 1965, Detroit, 1967, and Newark, 1967, accelerated the process. Widespread arson, looting, and violence destroyed entire blocks, prompting even more families to seek safer suburbs. These events were not spontaneous uprisings against oppression, but destructive outbreaks that devastated local economies and scared away taxpayers who funded city services. The racist white flight myth ignores that many black residents also fled these same deteriorating areas when possible, seeking better schools and safety in suburbs or other cities. It dismisses legitimate fears of ordinary people protecting their families and investments. White flight drained tax bases, collapsed infrastructure, and turned thriving metropolises into decaying shells. Outcomes directly resulting from all those blacks in unchecked crime and social dysfunction. They always bring everywhere they go, not some coordinated racial conspiracy. This reframing exposes how the standard Black History Month tale inverts cause and effect. Instead of portraying whites as villains abandoning cities due to prejudice, the record shows populations escaping real threats to life, limb, and livelihood. The cities didn't fall because whites left. Whites left because the cities were already falling under waves of violence and disorder. Black history didn't happen like they say it did.
Free socks.